Hey guys, it's Jeremiah here with Dad Projects. Now today I'm going to show you how to build this potting bench right behind me. And I've actually started it over a year ago, but I got sidetracked with a couple things and now it's 2021, so we're going to go ahead and finish it. I've actually been using it the whole time as a workbench, as a potting bench, for storage as well, but I never put the finishing touches on it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But as for now, let's go ahead flash back to 2020 and I'll show you how to build this step by step. And if you like my shirt, check out babyandsunshine.com. They've got all these matching dad and baby shirts. So click the link in the description and check that out. So welcome back to 2020. Now when I started this project, I wanted to use as many reclaimed materials as I could, and I was actually able to use all items that I already had around my house. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually cutting a couple 2x4s, and if you notice, some of these 2x4s are actually pretty old. They've been weathered, but they still get the job done, and I'm going to touch them up with my sander later and you won't even be able to tell the difference anymore. Now the bench is going to be 4 feet by 30 inches deep. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 48 inches, and then I'm going to cut 4 pieces of 2x4 at 27 inches. And I'm going to show you guys how I put that together next. Once I have all my pieces cut, I just laid it down on the floor. Next, I used a speed square to check for 90 degrees on all my legs before I drive in some nails. You can use some screws, but just be sure to drill some pilot holes prior to drilling in screws. Now I wanted the bench to be 30 inches high, so I cut the 2x4s at 29.5, and I'm going to attach the front legs first, knowing that the pickets that I'll be installing are about 1/2 inch thickness, so that'll give my bench exactly 30 inches tall. This height is perfect for me to where I could still work on it standing up and comfortable sitting down. Now the rear legs are going to be a little bit different. These are going to double as support for the shelf that's going to be above the desk. Now that my bench is framed out and is starting to come together, I'm going to start building the tabletop. I'm using these leftover fence pickets that I've got from an old project. But if you want to save time, a sheet of plywood would probably work better and be faster too. But I've already got these on hand, so I'm going to go ahead and use these today. With my pickets all nailed in place, I'm now going to cut a clean straight line with my skill saw. Next, I'm going to install this 2x4 as a cross piece in between the two support columns. I'm also going to install an identical one at the bottom of the shelf about 3 or 4 inches off the ground. Then I used a palm sander with finer grit to smooth it out. Now I did do this kind of out of order, but I was really impatient and I wanted to start sanding that tabletop. But I do need to add some more support for the legs. So I've cut a few more pieces of 2x4s and I'm actually going to secure the front and the rear legs together. Now the bench did seem a little shaky as I was moving it around, so I decided to add one more piece of 2x4 across for added support. Added bonus is this also acts as a footrest. Now I'm going to start building my shelf. Instead of using traditional metal brackets, I'm going to use these 2x4s that are cut off at 45 degrees. And then I'm going to screw in a wood plank on top of them. Alright, welcome back to 2021. So if you've seen this video up until this point, you know that's all that's left to do is actually just seal this wood up. So let's go ahead and do that now. But first, since I left an overlap on this bench, it actually broke off and it's kind of jagged. So I'm just going to cut it flush with the 2x4 underneath that. So I'll do that first. So I told myself all I'm gonna do is just stain this desk. Well, using it for the last year, I've noticed that I always need some sort of power strip on it. So I've got this old reclaimed commercial power strip that I've got, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut a hole into the desk and slide it right in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove this shroud that's over the power strip. I don't really need it and it's just gonna take up way too much space. Once I decided where I'm going to put the power strip, I'm going to sketch a rough opening of where I'm going to cut. To make this cut, I'm going to drill 4 holes on the inside corners of the rectangles that I just sketched out. This will allow me to use a jigsaw to finish the cut. Next, I'm going to feed the power cord through the hole. It does take a little persuading, but the power strip does fit flush in the bench. Next, I'm going to remove the power strip so I could apply tung oil to the bench. Now, tung oil is not going to seal the wood, so I do have to apply it at least annually, but it's what I have on hand and it really does bring out the wood grain and it's going to look nice. And the final step, all I got to do is reinstall this power strip and screw it down into place. And this project is done. Alright, so I just finished putting the last layer of tung oil on it and it looks amazing. Tung oil really brings out the layers in the wood, so really glad I finally put the finishing touches on this. And I find myself using this more as a workbench instead of a potting bench, so I'm really glad I put my little power strip inside there, and it's a low profile so it stays out of the way. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. This channel's still new, so I'm just trying to grow it as quickly as possible. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Thanks for watching, guys.